let's talk about the New York Jets. Now,
I'm I'm sorry. I did not mean to laugh that loud like that. My bad. My bad. Okay. Oh, I mean they
BRF, I'll
deserve
let,
they deserve it, but oh gosh.
now you talk about talk about marriage of hell. This match made
Ooh.
in hell. Aaron Rodgers with the New York Jets already. They fired Robert Sala. Robert Sala. They fired the GM. They're already 3-9 this season. They lost to the Seattle Seahawks. Shout out to Brandon. Aaron Rodgers threw a pick to Leonard Williams, who, by the way, was a former New York Jet, returning all the way for a touchdown. Love seeing the big fellas running in for a TD.
It was a first round
Um,
draft pick for the Jets.
yes. And oh, by the way, guys, we said it on the show, and I came up with the topic Aaron Rodgers or Kirk Cousins for this season. Now, look, we're going to get into Kirk Cousins in just a second because Kirk Cousins is having issues with the turnovers lately, but we still believe in Kirk Cousins. We damn sure can't say that about Aaron Rodgers for now. This season has been an epic failure for the New York Jets. Diana Rossini of The Athletic reported that Aaron Rodgers intends to play in 2025, however, not for the Jets. So if you're New York at this point, move on from Aaron Rodgers, try to gain back some leverage, try to restore the team. You might as well get yourself a new quarterback. You got a lot of pieces, but you too much acquiesce to Aaron Rodgers. And Champ, I don't know. I sent you something on Michael K's show. I can't use the exact term that Michael K called Aaron Rodgers, but it was the J word
Yeah,
from the well-known MTV show with all the pranks and all that stuff.
yeah.
Oh,
So when you look at Aaron Rodgers, I mean Shannon Sharp, he's been on Nightcap, he's been on Undisputed, he's been on CBS. He said it about Aaron Rodgers from day one. He's arrogant, he's aloof, he's flippant, he's condescending, he's smug, above it all. And all those things seem to be true because Aaron Rodgers, as far as his leadership is concerned, look, Aaron is a great football player. We take nothing away from what he's accomplished, first ballot Hall of Famer. But boy, man, he don't look the same. And when you look at the New York Jets, it has been a failure. It has been a major disappointment. I would know. Y'all know me. I live in Jersey. Jets fans are furious with what they're seeing to the point
Mm,
they don't even want to buy any more jerseys at
mm,
Dick's Sporting Goods or any other sporting goods store that has Jets or Giants stuff. So it is getting that bad. It is getting that bad. My mama won't even come to that store at Dick's Sporting Goods because she doesn't want to see all that Jets Giants gear. So I mean, it is getting that bad for New Jersey, for New York. Don't even spend your time spending money on buying any Jets or Giants gear, man. Focus on 2025. Hopefully, focus on 2025. Think of something to look forward to, because I'm telling you right now, New York, New Jerseyans, it ain't looking good.
mm.
It ain't looking good. It is looking like a disaster. I mean, it's looking like Love and Hip Hop with Mama D and Lil Scrappy. That's how bad it is right now. But BRF, I'm gonna let you go. What's your thoughts with the Jets?
Mm.
wise words from a famous movie quote. If you've seen the movie Robin Hood Men in Tights, it's the scene where they were talking about trying to kill Robin Hood. And shout out to Dom DeLuise back in the day. If you know, you know. The New York Jets are dead. DED dead. Like dead. I mean, so dead they didn't even he didn't even spell dead right. Just dead. Just done.
Like
Finished.
Vanilla Ice's career? Like Vanilla
Like
Ice's career done?
bruh, they ain't even one hit wonder saved good. Like, and if you want to go the one hit wonder was Garrett Wilson making that catch on that Monday night. If you want to call him a one hit wonder, I mean, just trash. They've been horrible to they, like, good God, like. And my thing, and the thing is, I feel bad. I even bought into that crap that they had going on over there. I picked them fools to win the division. I picked them fools to win the division. Picked them to win the division. Because here I am. No, because no, I had good reason. Because I thought the New York Jets defense was the best unit in the division. And you can't argue that it wasn't coming into the season. You can't argue that it wasn't. You can't argue fully healthy. The New York Jets defense was the best unit coming into division at the time. The problem is the offense is trash. And Aaron Rodgers looks every bit of 40 years old. And then poor Robert Saleh, they used him as a scapegoat because he wanted to take play calling away from Aaron Rodgers' boy Nathaniel Hackett. He wanted to take play calling away from him. So guess what them dummies decided to do? Not only did they fire Robert Saleh, but they took play calling away from Nathaniel Hackett in the first place. So what are we doing? They took it from him in the first. They took it from him anyway. So I mean, what was that? And then Devontae Adams just got bamboozled. I bet she's probably feeling just flat out flabbergasted right now, thinking he was about to come into something with the New York Jets. And he walked into more trash with the Jets than he had with the Vegas Raiders. Lord bless the Vegas Raiders. At least they trying. At least they being competitive. Did y'all see the Raiders? They almost beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Brock Bowers is every bit getting into this offensive rookie of the year talk. New York Jets ain't got nothing doing. Like absolutely nothing at all. Like at the very least, you'd want to say, "Oh well, Brees Hall, he a baller," which is true. Garrett Wilson a baller, yeah, it's true. But like, what they got to show for it? Because Aaron Rodgers can't. Aaron Rodgers is like forgot how to play the quarterback position. The New York Jets defense, which I thought was the strongest unit in that entire division going into the season, at least they with Robert Saleh as the head coach, they were at least fighting, playing hard, keeping them in games. Man, I bet you Sam Darnold and Geno Smith are looking at that franchise and laughing their collective tails off. Laughing their tails off. I'm not even going to include Zach. I'm not even including Zach Wilson in this. I'm looking at Sam Darnold and I'm looking at Geno Smith because Sam Darnold is with the Minnesota Vikings. And you see what the Minnesota Vikings are doing right now at this moment. The only reason why they are not first place in the NFC North is because of the Detroit Lions. That is it. And then you got Geno Smith with the Seattle Seahawks, 7-5, first place in the NFC West right now. You can't tell me they ain't laughing straight to the bank right now. I mean, pulling a straight 50. I mean, a straight 50 cent, straight 50 cent, and laughing straight to the bank. And I mean, ha 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 ha, straight to the bank, laughing like flat out. Is that bad? It is that bad. And it's like, and I've said it once, and I'm gonna say it again. It's karma. It is karma. Aaron Rodgers got that man fired, and then Joe Douglas got fired. And I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking to myself, how is it Joe Douglas' fault? It ain't like he drafted bad. It ain't like he got in bad players. They got talent up there. They just fell for the trap that's Aaron Rodgers, and now they got nothing to show for it. But another top five pick. So I mean, it is what it is at this point. And if I'm the quarterbacks coming out of college, if I'm like Shadur Sanders, if I'm Cam Ward, if I'm Quinn Ewers, if I'm Jackson Dart, if I'm any of them guys, and I'm looking at the New York Jets, do you really want to go? I'm thinking about it more and more. Do you really want to go? Now, I'll say this, though. I do feel like if they do draft one of those guys, I hope they go up there with enough moxie and enough confidence in themselves to feel like that even if it is the New York Jets, they can go up there and they can do something. But like I'm going to do for the New York Giants fans, when they play the Baltimore Ravens, I'm going to do the same thing for the New York Jets fans, and we all going to pray for them. We all going to pray for them. We all going to hope everything go all right the rest of the season because they're going to need all the prayer they can get. Because if y'all don't think this season can't get worse, oh, it can. It most definitely can. I just hope for y'all's sake it don't. But nothing is showing me that it's going to get any better. So go and cut your losses with Aaron Rodgers. Get him up out of there. Draft you a quarterback. Start over and maybe just maybe rebuild some hope. Because as far as I can see it, the New York Jets just went back to being one of the laughing stocks of the National Football League, and that's a shame. Because let me tell you something. I was always bullish on that defense, but it's like y'all got nothing worth anything now. So I mean, it is what it is. I'm just gonna you just say a prayer for him. You say a prayer for him, and you keep it pushing. I want to laugh at him, but I mean, it's like I kind of pity him at this point. So
Well, Aaron Rodgers starting to look a little bit more Jeff George-esque with his attitude lately. That's how he's looking right now with that blasé attitude. And it's getting so bad to the point. Look, not even Gordon Ramsay would want to come and watch that New York Jets mess. He's like,
Hell's
clean this
Kitchen,
mess.
Hell's Kitchen for real.
That looks like Hell's Kitchen. The New York Jets right now. They look like Hell's Kitchen.
Mm-hmm. Same boy, and he looked like Jeff George with that ability he's showing too. It ain't looking too hot.
Of course, champ, you would know a thing or two about dealing with Jeff George back in your day. Not even champ would want to come watch the New York Jets mess and deal with the New York Jets situation. What are your thoughts, champ?
I got a present for you, New York. It's a roll of this right here. Because stuff didn't hit the fan. Because stuff didn't hit the fan. This is a gift for you, New York. For the New York Jets. A big old roll of Charmin. Because you know stuff can hit the fan fast up there in New York.
Either that or they toilet paper soft.
This is a good one. Fresh from Dollar General, right up the street. $1.99. Because you're going to need it. Because stuff can hit the fan and you're going to have to wipe real good. I'm just going to really be honest with you. Look. Did y'all ever seen this movie Misery?
Yes.
Misery. If you put Misery and you combine that with Cheaters, the show Cheaters, and you combine that with the Basketball Wives, that ain't even enough drama compared to what's going on in New York right about now. Because good God, I mean, it is misery on top of drama on top of drama. You know what? This hard. Then Aaron Rodgers coming out. I don't think I want to play in the New York Jets. It's kind of like that ex you gave everything to. You bought her red bottoms. Your mom and your dad told her don't buy that girl everything.
Is she gonna divorce you?
And then she gonna divorce you behind anyway. And she finna take. And then everything you spent on her, she finna take half the fortune. Good God.
make sure you hood her up with that prenup.
Yeah. Hey, it looks like New York Jets didn't get the memo because man, they.
You should have listened. Should have listened to that Kanye West song, boy. We want prenup. We want prenup.
Or you should have listened to Curtis Mayfield, Eddie. You should have known better. Mm-hmm. So, hey, you remember that song, huh? But and like Curtis Mayfield said in that song, I don't think they're gonna make it this time.
Facts.
New York. It is a shame that it is a shame that you keep repeating the same mistakes over and over and over again. Because you made the same mistakes with Rex Ryan. All that good defense, but at the end of it, after those 2-3 years, you couldn't get him enough offense in order for him to produce. It is a shame that some of these great defensive players are wasting their careers away in the New York Jets organization right now. And the thing is, Zach Wilson had a better record last year than Aaron Rodgers did around this time. They still had a chance to make the playoffs last year.
They were more competitive.
Exactly. So you go and fire the GM, you go and fire the coach. You take away play calling from Nathaniel Hackett. I mean, you gonna fire the guy who made the grilled cheese sandwiches at the concession stand next? You gonna blame him next? Because you running out of people to blame, Mr. Johnson.
You gonna fire the hot dog people from the hot dog stands?
Yeah, you gonna fire him too. Because the thing is, you drunk the Aaron Rodgers Kool-Aid. And like I said before, and I hate to be repetitive, I said this before on your show plenty of time. If Aaron Rodgers was a young quarterback, if he was Lamar Jackson and he came to the New York Jets and he made all of these demands, I can honestly see why they would acquiesce to him. Why? Because guess what? He's young. He's going to be there for a while. You know, he's going to be there for a while. It's kind of like when you think about why with the late great Kobe Bryant, why he said he wanted Shaq gone. You understood because he was the future of the organization. How do you drink the Kool-Aid on someone who's 40 years old and you don't even know if they're going to retire within the next 2 years? Now he's saying he don't want to play. He don't want to play for the New York Jets. Who are you going to play for? The Toronto Argonauts? Because right now you're not good. Right now you're not good enough to play in the NFL.
What do you want them to do, champ? You want them to go to China and play the Shanghai Sharks?
I mean, you can do Aaron Rodgers is not good enough to play in the league. And if you really think about it, and think about it. Every team is pretty much set on their quarterback position.
Oh,
maybe a few teams. Outside of a few teams, a lot of their teams are pretty much set on the quarterback position, or they're drafting one next year. So if I'm an organization right now in the NFL, Aaron Rodgers, you can go somewhere and jump in the lake because I'm not going to take a chance on you.
Facts.
Our organization and be ruining these young guys. You're not going to come in here throwing people under the bus. It's like trying to date Robin Givens after Mike Tyson dated her. No, don't do that. It's kind of like crazy. Why would you do that? That's dumb. So that's how he is.
Oh, so, no.
It's a given. Don't bring that kind of cancer into your organization. That's dumb.
Not Robin Givens after Mike. Oh,
my bad. Pipe bomb.
There's a reason why the hot item Friday night.
Well, where's Shaquille O'Neal when you need him? Oh boy, Guangdong.
No. Don't do that. You're going too far. You're going too far. But you can't bring these guys into these organizations that you know are cancers at this point. Aaron Rodgers is a cancer. He's had problems with everybody in his last organization. He's had problems with when you have a problem with everybody, you can have a problem with a few people. You can have a problem with a few people. A few people can be lying. But like I always say, everybody ain't lying. You had a problem with Mike McCarthy. You had a problem with Matt LaFleur. And you ain't in the organization but 2 flipping minutes. And you had a problem with Robert Saleh?
I don't even think Dr. Phil can even help him.
You might well just go, hey, God rest his soul. You might want to dig up Thurgood Marshall in order to help his behind because it ain't gonna help him at all. But I don't know.
I don't know if Thurgood Marshall would want to deal with Aaron Rodgers and his colorful if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but all of that prima donna.
Quick breaking news. Sports highlight: Hawks beat the Lakers.
Yeah, you had to throw that up there. Why would you? Why you trying to raise that man's blood pressure?
Oh my God!
As a Hawks fan, that's 6 in a row. I have every right to celebrate.
I know you have every right to celebrate, but what about your brother down? You want him to go outside, going to Magic City, going to Waffle House or something?
Nobody told him to be a Lakers fan. He chose that life.
Yeah, he right. But the thing is, that's another story for another day. But back to Aaron Rodgers. Hey, it's that time, man. Stop. New York, if I could recommend anything, is this. It's like you repeated the cycle. You had an immature quarterback at the helm last year with Zach Wilson. When he said he wasn't responsible, he didn't let the defense down. And then you turn right back around and drunk the Kool-Aid on Aaron Rodgers. How many times do you have to make that mistake?
Well, champ, to Aaron Rodgers, he's like Jada Pinkett. I mean, he's getting he's toxic. That everyone's getting problems, everyone's having situations. What's next? We're gonna hear entanglements and all that other stuff.
Well, it ain't August, it's December. But
Hey man, entanglement.
But I'll say this. But I'll say this though,
It's like Aaron Rodgers is like Jada Pinkett Smith. I mean, he's got the Jets possessed and stuff like that, man.
I don't know what he did to them, but that's that Jets. Y'all got to stop making the same mistakes on these quarterbacks, man. Because that's the thing. That's the only thing y'all cannot get right. It seems like this, and I'm just going to be honest from what I've seen with the Jets over the years. It seems like they can have the most complete team and not have a good quarterback. And it seems like when they have a decent quarterback, they don't have a damn good team. I mean, when they had the New York Sack Exchange, they had Ken O'Brien. He was a decent quarterback, not necessarily a world beater. When they had, Vinny, the only time they had a complete team was ironically when they had Vinny Testaverde in that 99 team, in that 98 team, when they made it to the NFC Championship, to the AFC Championship. But it's always a cycle that they just can't seem to get. They either have a very, very good team and don't have the quarterback in order to carry them to the next millennium, or they have a they have a mediocre quarterback, close to net the quarterback, and they don't have a team around. Look at
Mark Sanchez won. Mark Sanchez won. Remember, because back-to-back AFC Championship appearances, and they had a hell of a defense, and that was with the real Revis.
I felt like those defenses were the most scariest defenses in the National Football League. Those two AFC title runs, but they had Mark Sanchez. I mean, what more can you say? They had Mark Sanchez. And I'm gonna say this though, hey, you compare it to Jets, Jada Pinkett Smith. At least ain't nobody gonna slap nobody else on their behalf.
Ain't nobody gonna slap Woody Johnson, but at some point.
And the crazy thing about Woody Johnson is the fact that it's the story that came out saying he had said something along the lines of they should have benched Aaron Rodgers after week 4. And I saw that and I'm thinking to myself, Woody Johnson actually making sense? This is hell froze over.
Because usually in New York owners, not really logical owners. I mean, New York with the Knicks, you have Dolan. I mean, the Jets, you have Woody Johnson. You have the Giants with John Mara. Finally, for once, Woody Johnson with some logic. And that's saying something. But, man, look, we talk about reality TV. We talk about love and hip-hop. We talk about the Kardashians. And ain't nothing more than a mess than the New York Jets right now. Because this was a team that had conversations for Super Bowl. And Aaron, and like I've said it before, and I'll say it again, as a leader, he is worse than Brett Favre. Brett Favre, look, I can say a lot of negative things about Brett Favre on and off the football field. But, and yes, he was a prima donna during his last couple of years in Green Bay when he couldn't make up his mind whether he wanted to play or retire. Aaron Rodgers is far worse. It's like, dude, he has everything that you could ask for. They've done their part acquiescing to him, and he's come up short. He's come up short. He folds like a lawn chair come postseason time. And he's I have him as one of the top 5 greatest quarterbacks of all time. But dude, everything, and plus he's now coming out with a new Netflix documentary about about him recovering from the Achilles injury. Aaron Rodgers, it seems to me, he only went to New York for one reason and one reason only, and that's the media and that's the attention. Because I do see life after football with Aaron Rodgers. It wouldn't surprise me at all if Aaron Rodgers owns his own podcast, has his own talk show. He's been on Jeopardy before. He loves Jeopardy, and he loves to talk, not just sports, but also politics, also a lot of other things. So I think that was the reason why he decided to go to New York. But I've heard from the group chat about him going to Minnesota. Minnesota don't even consider it. Don't even
No, you better
consider it.
not.
If Aaron, I think the best thing that Aaron should do, retire.
Yeah.
You're one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history. No doubt about you, a Hall of Famer. But as a teammate, as a leader, you a horrible, terrible teammate and leader. And I just don't think. And the problem is with Aaron, it's you. This is really on you, and this is one of the reasons why you are unable to only win one Super Bowl. And look, Kirk Cousins, on his best day, he is nowhere near Aaron Rodgers. But we would rather play with Kirk Cousins because Kirk Cousins is about the team. Kirk Cousins doesn't bring a lot of drama. He doesn't bring a lot of attention. And look, my thing is with Aaron Rodgers, he doesn't realize he brings the controversy. He does. He brings it to himself, especially with how the way he talks, how the way he talks about other things such as COVID and everything else. He caused that. And there were expectations for you, even with you coming off the Achilles injury. There were expectations for you to help this team. Jets, they made a mistake. They paying the price. They got to make their bed. They're making their bed. Now you got to lay on it. I agree with you, BRF. If I'm Shador Sanders or Cam Ward, I'm staying away from the New York Jets organization. I'm gonna have to pull an Eli or something just in order for me to avoid being drafted. Go ahead,
Here's
BRF.
here's here's the thing though. Here's the thing though. Now, I would think about it, but New York has so much talent on the offensive side of the ball. It's really hard to want to not. It's it's hard to it's hard to say. You know what? I don't want to go.
But do you want to
You
deal with the
still
media? But do you want to deal with the media? Do you want to deal with that fan base? Because once you start playing bad, you know they're gonna get on you, and you know
have. Hey,
them.
I look at it like this. I mean, it's part of the job. I mean, it's part of the job. I mean, if you're a quarterback for one of those New York franchises, one of the cons is having to deal with the media. It's part of the job, and I think it's just one of those things where it's kind of like you have to go and prepare. I think a guy like Shador Sanders could go in there because I mean, look at all the scrutiny and everything he's had to face in his 2 years at Colorado. So if anybody's prepped for New York, even though New York media is a completely different animal, if anybody's prepped, it's Shador Sanders because I mean he's been him and Dion and Travis Hunter. They've all been getting scrutinized from the time they've hit Colorado. So if anybody's prepped, it's him. I just think even though you may want to play that card, the Jets have a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball. You got Garrett Wilson, you got Brees Hall, you have Braylon Allen as a number two running back. I mean, you got players there. So I think, like I said, I think there's talent there to keep you from waving the white flag as far as wanting to go to the New York Jets. My biggest thing to me, it's not necessarily the media, it's the front office. And can the front office be trusted now to make sound decisions, coaching staff wise, player personnel wise? Because I mean, people can say all they want about Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas getting fired. Joe Douglas, Joe Douglas, Joe Douglas bought some. He bought some good groceries, and Robert Saleh, let me tell you something. For him having Zach Wilson as his quarterback, to keep the New York Jets competitive the way he did, particularly focusing on that defensive side of the ball, who it was like no matter what the offense did, The defense was gonna get their pound of flesh, and they were gonna find a way to keep them in that game. So I just think I don't know. I just as much as you want to say I don't want to go, if I'm Shadir Sanders and I see Garrett Wilson and Brees Hall, it's hard to say no to that. But can you trust the front office to put the people in place in order to get you in the best positions to make plays and to win games? The biggest worry is the front office, but I mean, it's like if they draft you, it's kind of one of those things where it's like I don't know. I think you have to go in prepared for the hell that is New York and the New York media. You just have to go in prepared. So I think if anybody can do it, it should do it Sanders. But we'll wait and see when the draft comes along. I just know this is probably one of the more anticipated NFL drafts that's going to be coming up in a long time. Just because it's like it's just seeing how the teams are going to be sculpted, seeing how they're going to be built through the draft, seeing who's going where. Particularly the defensive side of the ball, there's going to be a lot of depth. So it's very anticipated, and I'm excited for it. But yeah, the New York Jets right now are just they like they're like you could call them a laughing stock, and it's an insult to other laughing stocks. That's how bad they are.
Champ, yeah, was there something you wanted to say, man?
Uh, hey, if I'm Sador and I choose to go to New York, I'm really not worried about the New York media. I've been criticized worldwide the last 2 years, so I'm not really worried. I'm kind of numb to the criticism at this point. So, hey, if you can get through that right there, what you just went through in Colorado for the last 2 years, and even what you went through at Jackson State, because remember right after he left, they was criticizing him then. So if you can go through what you went through these last 2 years, going to New York and listening to what they got to say after you basically stunk up the joint for the last 2 years without me here, okay.
Mm-hmm. But I like your analogy, Champ, with the August and Jada, man. I mean, what Mama Champ? You've been talking to Mama Champ. You've been talking to Mama PSP lately.
No, man. You know, that's hey, man. Daddy Champ taught me well.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man.
Shout out to Papa Champ.
Hey, Papa taught his son a brand new